Friendly reminder, HR is not your friend, and here are 4 reasons why. The first reason is HR protects the company and not the employee. Instead of calling themselves human resources, they should call themselves what they really are, the risk management team. Human resources kind of has a nice ring to it. It makes employees believe that it's a safe space to go to when they need to air out their grievances. And think about it, why would employees think anything else? Because HR, in fact, tells them if you have grievances or complaints or anything of the sort, come to us. And then when an employee goes to HR with an issue, guess what HR's first thought is? They are asking themselves, how do they minimize the impact of what you reported on the company? And then they proceed to document that you came to them with a grievance in your employee file. And what does this mean? It means that you're a red flag that they need to keep their eye on. So back to your complaint. What do they do about that? How do they respond? Their response is going to be calculated and strategic, and it's not in a way to help you, but instead it's going to be constructed in a way that is going to protect the employer and insulate them from legal liability. The second reason is they're not your friend because anything you tell them, they do not keep it confidential. The information that you shared with them, they share with members of management. And they will tell the other party about your complaint. And yes, they get away with this. The third reason HR is not your friend is because when you make a complaint and they say they're going to investigate, it's nothing but a farce. It's fundamentally unfair and the cards are stacked against you, whether you know it or not. Your complaint is already a legal liability to them. So when they do this investigation, it's not going to be in your best interest. They set you up. You ever see the first 48 and how those interrogations go? That's you. You're on the other side of that investigator. For instance, if you have witnesses to your complaint, they're not going to question those witnesses who can help vouch for you. Instead, they're going to question others on the team that will say things to hurt you and your complaint. And then after that, the conclusion of the investigation comes. And guess what? There is no evidence of wrongdoing. And we spoke to other people as well outside of the witnesses that you gave us, when in fact they never contacted your witnesses. And they basically said that, you were the problem. And if you realize during the course of the investigation, they're telling you that it's important that you keep things confidential. So that keeps you from talking to your witnesses. However, they're not keeping things confidential on their side and they're doing what they do. They sabotage. And all of this is documented in the file because they are setting you up and building a case that's going to be used against you in the future. And they're doing their job, what they're hired to do, risk management. And it's important to point something out. Your employee handbook probably has a procedure in there for complaints, and it speaks to, your complaint will be investigated. Nowhere in that employee handbook does it say the investigations will be fair. And the fourth reason why HR is not your friend, because they lie, manipulate, and gaslight. Why do you think when you file a complaint, they always want to talk to you in person or on the phone? They don't want you writing that down. And when they meet with you, they're always taking notes. But the way they are taking those notes is from their perspective in a manner in which it's going to protect the employer, right? That's why I always tell you on this page to document. You need to have your version on the record as well. And I always encourage employees to find out if they are in a one-party consent state and record those conversations. And then somehow during the course of the investigation, they'll slip some questions in there about your conduct, your performance. Why would they need to do that if you brought the complaint forward about something that was happening to you? So you slowly see how they're subtly turning it on you. That's a protection mechanism. Now, it's important for me to say that I'm not telling you not to report what's happening to you to HR, but what I'm saying is you need to know who you're dealing with and you need to report it the right way.